All right. No, today's going to be, I always say this, it's going to be a gentle class, but then, well, we'll see what happens. The journey, let the journey begins. But today's focus is on laterals. So we're going to do some deep stuff in the side body. A lot of, especially when we're looking at MAT stuff, a lot of what we want to focus on from an applied yoga anatomy perspective is how a lot of these side benders stabilize the spine. And so we don't actually, there's not a lot of movement where we go side to side, but a lot of the muscles that we're going to look at in strengthening the lateral obliques, quadratus lumborum, the multifidus, and then even the longissimus. A lot of these muscles really are important for stabilizing the spine, especially when we're doing different kinds of movements in our life. And I always use that same example of reaching for the shampoo bottle. Like, it's not like you just kind of go up. It's kind of you turn the body, you arch up, and you reach up. And so it's all of these kind of like little extra movements that we do. And when we're not used to doing those extra movements, sometimes that's when we get into problems. And a lot of us actually compensate to avoid those movements. I've been watching one of the ladies here, and it's very interesting watching them walk, who's got an injury, all the compensation, all of that compensating wreaks havoc in the body. So instead of compensating, which we do unconsciously, let's get the body strong. Yes or yes. So okay. So what I want you to do is just cross your legs, come and sit on 2 blankets or a block. If you're at home, you can also sit on a block or on a pillow, and just cross your legs, Alex. Don't do Siddhasana. Just cross your ankles. Bring the ankles a little bit forward. And we're going to start off with just something really simple. Just cross your arms. You can let the elbows hang down. What I really want you to focus on is having an arch in the lumbar spine. So earlier, someone said to me today that they're worried of having too much of an arch. I don't know that you can have too much of a curve in a lumbar spine. As one of the teachers, Judith Lassiter, who's sort of the queen bee of yoga, kind of scolded me one day when I said, I have a big arch. And she went, really? But then she reminded all of us that a lot of people of African descent, you look at some pictures of people who are from Africa, literally, and have these deep lumbar curves. And they don't have a lot of back problems that us Western people have. So the lumbar spine should curve. Now, I'll put a caveat to that and just say it really is important to make sure that the core is stable. So one of the cues that I always say is to lift the pubic bone up. Now, you don't want to lift the pubic bone up so much that you take the curve out, because that's tailbone dropping. But it's about, on the exhale, feel a slight lift in the pubic bone, and then all of a sudden the pyramidalis triggers all of the abdominal muscles to start engaging. And if you do that right now, you'll see what I'm talking about. You can feel the abdominal wall starting to contract. So with those 2 ideas in your mind, the lumbar curve, the extension, and a little bit of lift in the pubic bone, cross your arms. And then what I want you to do is think about lifting up the chest, but don't lift up the arms like we did yesterday. And then just drop the right shoulder to the right hip. Now, it's very specific, because sometimes when you come over, in normal yoga classes, the instruction is always lengthen through the side and come over, but I'm not asking you to do that. I'm actually asking you to crunch over. Inhale, come back up. So the idea then is to shorten the muscles on the side. Okay, and just come on over. Inhale deeply. And exhale deeply. Lift the heart just a little bit, Alex. So there's a little bit of a lift or a spiral open, and then come back up. Okay, and then again, arch the lumbar spine and then come over. Inhale deeply and exhale deeply. These are the first movements we're doing, so don't feel like you really have to go so deep and come back over. But just have in your mind that you're just kind of contracting these muscles. You're shortening the lateral obliques. Literally, you're shortening them. And then come back up and come back over. And we're going to do this a lot today. We're going to kind of mix it in with a lot of different poses. And come back up. And then the other side. So this time, left shoulder to left hip bone. And come back up. Inhale fully. Feel the top of the lungs getting full. Exhale. Take the navel in towards the spine, slightly lifting up at the pubic bone as it triggers that root abdominal muscle, the pyramidalis. Inhale, come back up to engage. Exhale, come back over. Good. And come back up. And come back over. Nice. And come back up. And come back over. There's a slight spiraling or opening of the chest. Not to exaggerate it too much. Another way of saying that is to extend the upper back a little bit. And inhale, come back up. And last one, exhale, come back over. Can you crunch a little bit more? Think about left shoulder to left hip bone. And come back up. Exhale, bring the hands out to the sides. Inhale, bring the hands, reach up. Again, arching in the lumbar spine, also extending the chest. Bring the biceps back a little bit. Exhale, bring the hands down beside, out to the sides. And then inhale, bring the hands, reach up. And then twist as much as you can to the right and let the arms come down. Don't use the arms to go deeper, just let them come down for support. Inhale, bring the hands, reach up. Exhale, twist as much as you can, and then let the arms come down. Inhale, come back up. We'll just do that a couple more times. Exhale, twist as much as you can and let the arms come down. Inhale, come back up. And exhale. Inhale, come back up. And exhale. And inhale. And exhale. Good. And inhale, reach back up. Stay here just for another breath or two. Lift the chest, extend, bring the biceps back. Good. And then exhale, bring the hands down. Just pause for a moment. Take 2 or 3 deep breaths. Feel the top of the lungs filling, the sides of the lungs filling, the lungs filling from top to bottom, and then also side to side. Very good. Okay, so let's come on to all fours. And have the knees a little bit apart, hip distance apart, the hands sort of underneath the shoulders. Good. Lift the chest and heart. So again, find that extension in the spine. And then go into flexion, rounding the back. Come into extension. And then come out of extension just a little bit. And there's your neutral spine. Tuck the toes and then exhale, come into downward facing dog. And then inhale, come to hands and knees, lift the chest and heart. Coming into neutral spine. Find length in the spine, this beautiful extension posture. Exhale, come into downward facing dog. Good. Inhale, come to your hands and knees. And exhale, come into downward dog. Inhale, come to hands and knees. Good. And then exhale, come into downward dog. And we're just going to stay there for a couple of breaths. Spread through the fingers, press down between thumb and forefinger. Lift your forearms away from the floor, hollow the armpits a bit. Keep those armpits hollowed, but press the leg bones back. Feel the side body starting to lengthen. If you can, and it's in your capacity, lift the ski slopes up towards the ceiling. Lift your toes away from the floor. Engage the quads. Inhale deeply. And exhale deeply. Very good. And then inhale. Come to your knees for a second. Bring the two blocks, please, up towards the front of your mat. And just put them to the sides for a second. And then come back into downward dog. Lift your right leg up towards the sky. And then inhale. Take the right foot up to the hands. Use the blocks here. Bring the hands to the blocks. And come onto the fingertips if you can. If you can move away from supporting yourself on the blocks. Now lift your right toes up off the floor. And then using your fingertips on the blocks, draw the shoulder blades back. Nice. Good. Take 2 more breaths here. Feel that right heel pressing down. Lift the left leg up. That's good. Bring the chest forward. Try to arch the chest forward. Take 1 more breath. And then exhale. Bring the hands down to the floor. And bring your right foot back. Come into downward dog. And then take the left foot forward. Bring the hands again to the blocks. Good. Now, literally, draw the shoulders forward and then towards the ceiling and then back. Push back through the right heel. Lift the inner leg upwards. Press down through the heel of your foot. Lift the left toes. Take another 2 breaths. Inhale deeply. Exhale deeply. Inhale deeply. Good. And then exhale, hands to the floor and left foot back, downward facing dog. Take another couple of deep breaths. Inhale. And exhale. Very good. Okay. So come to all fours here. We're going to do a little challenge. For some of you, it might be a challenge. Come down onto your elbows. So we'll do 2 sets of this. Come into neutral spine. So you're on your elbows, forearms. Your hands can be together or separated. It doesn't really matter. And then come to neutral spine and lift the knees off the floor. Lift your chest forward. Drop your hips a bit more. Drop the hips. Drop the hips. There you go. Lift the chest and heart. If there's someone in front of you, smile to them. And then bring the knees down. Good. Are we still friends? Okay. So lift the knees off the floor. See, I also have dark humor. Inhale. By the way, this is a really hard pose if you laugh. So don't laugh anymore. Bring the knees down. Okay, so now this is where it gets fun. Okay, lift the knees. Okay, so you're going to balance, come turn the heels over to the right, and balance on the right elbow. And lift up as much as you can. You should feel the right side engage here. Do you guys feel your right side engage? Okay, good. That was the right answer. Come down on the elbows and hold. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and now on the other side. Good. Really try to crunch that left side. So lift your right ribs up towards the ceiling and then come back. Lift the chest forward and then bring the knees down and just rest for a second. Don't go into child's pose. No child's pose. No child's pose. Adjacent. Okay, one more set. You ready? You with me? You with me? I have the C coming out of my nose right now. Oh my Lord. Natural Nettie. Okay, on your marks. Get set. Lift the knees up. 1, 2. Try sides of the belly coming into the midline. Bring the pubic bone forward. Good. Roll the heels over to the right. Lift the ribs up. The left ribs towards the ceiling. Lift them up. Express your heart upwards. And then come back. Elbows down. Good. Holding. 4, 5, 6. Other side. You might notice the second round is a lot easier. Your muscles are like, oh yeah, we did this before. So lift up the ribs as much as you can. More. Go for it. More. There you go. Yeah. And then come back to the elbows and hold. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Knees down. Oh, thank God. That was hard. You know, no, don't ever believe what I'm going to say. I don't even believe what I'm going to say most of the time. Okay, so let's come back and we'll do that one a little bit later. So we'll save you. Come into dog pose. Take dog pose. Dog is just such a great counter pose to any pose. As long as you don't have shoulder issues. It's just such a great pose. Nice. Take 2 more breaths. Inhale deeply. And exhale deeply. Inhale deeply. And exhale deeply. Very good. Okay. And then just slowly walk the feet up to the hands. And then inhale, reverse swan dive, navel to spine. Bring the arms out to the sides. Extend your spine, reach upwards. And exhale, Namaste Mudra. Inhale deeply. And exhale deeply. Good. So one of my favorite little sequences is this chair sequence to really work the back muscles. So again, allow your lumbar spine to curve here. Don't tuck the tailbone. Inhale, bend your knees, sit back, turn the toes in a bit, heels out, parallel the feet. Now sit back a little bit more. Even stick your butt out a little bit. Stick it out, but then lift up at the pubic bone. Now keep this container in the abdominals. Exhale, come forward. Keep the knees bent and let the hands relax and just totally allow the upper back to flex. And then reach forward and lift a little bit off of the thighs. Pause there for a second and then come back into chair pose. Sit back a little bit more. Can you lift the inner arches of your feet and press down into the outer edges of the feet? Inhale, come back up. That's a good adjustment, Alex. Exhale, Namaste Mudra. Inhale, sit back into chair. Do you guys feel your back muscles? Yep. Come back more if you can, Haley, into your heels. Lift your toes up. Yes. Now you're cooking. Okay. Keep coming forward slowly. Keep the arms or the biceps above the ears. Pause. And then slowly come forward. And then inhale, reach forward. Lift a little bit off the chest. The thighs. And lift the inner arches. Come back into chair. Lift the inner arches. Sit back a little bit more. And then inhale, come all the way up. And exhale. You can feel the expansive quality of that back bend. Inhale, bend the knees. Sit back into chair. And then slowly come forward. Take your time. And then come all the way down. Sit back into chair, slowly coming up. Pause halfway, lift the biceps behind the ears, and then come on up into chair. Come back into the heels of your feet. Lift the toes up. Lift the inner arches. And then inhale, stand up. And exhale. So what we're going to do is face the pool side of the room. Or step your left foot back. Or 1 foot back, it doesn't matter. And here, what I want you to do is turn your right foot to the right. Now, sometimes when people are doing Trikonasana, they say to stick the left hip out. So in this case, if you're going to the right, to really let the hips come out. I don't teach that. Keep the hips squeezing into the midline. So, no LA girl. Again, we're going to cross the arms. Now, just for fun, lift your right toes for a moment. Just the toes, not the ball of the foot. So you press down into the ball of the foot, press down into the heel, but feel the leg bones lifting up. If you can cultivate that awareness of the femur bones moving into the hips and then squeezing the hips into midline. And this is going to change your triangle pose a lot. And then take your right shoulder to the right hip bone and hold it. Again, spiraling the chest open. And then come back up slowly. And then slowly come down and right shoulder to right hip. Squeeze in. And then come back up. And lift the chest, squeeze the hips, and then right shoulder to right hip. And come back up. And then right shoulder to right hip. And come back up. Okay, this time take your chin over your left shoulder. And then right shoulder to right hip. And then you're going to look up. And then come back up. Good. This time bring the arms out. Well, I'm sorry, I lied. Go back. Cross the arms. Right shoulder to right hip bone. Then let your right your right hand come to your right leg. Bring your left hand to your heart and lift the heart up towards the ceiling, and then bring the left hand, reach up to the sky. Now, the right hand that's on the right leg, don't kind of hold yourself there. Just have that arm kind of hanging there. The fingertips can rest if you'd like on the shin bone or something. And then take the left arm over your head. Pause there. Think about still right shoulder to right hip bone, if you can, in your mind's eye. And then the most important adjustment, turn the corners of your mouth upwards. And then take the left hand, reach to the left, engage your core, and take about 6 seconds to pull yourself back up. Nice. Turn the right toes in. Hands to Namaste Mudra and just pause. Close your eyes and just feel. Feel the full power of laterals. Feel the power of Trikonasana. Triangle pose in the Tantric tradition symbolizes transformation, change, but also strength and determination. So embodying all of those characteristics, all of those qualities in our triangle pose. Turn the left foot to the left. Good. Squeeze the feet towards each other. Take the hips to midline. Lift both of your inner arches if you can, and lift the front toes for a little bit. Press down into the ball of the foot. And then again, take the left shoulder to the left hip bone. And inhale, back up. And then exhale, take the left shoulder to the left hip bone. And slowly back up. And then take the left shoulder to the left hip bone. And come back up. And then take the left shoulder to the left hip bone. And then come back up. And take your chin over your right shoulder this time, and then take your left shoulder to the left hip bone. And come back up. And then come back over one more time. And then take your left arm down the left leg. Take your right hand to the heart center and pull the heart up towards the sky. And then bring the right arm up and reach up. Still thinking about left shoulder to left hip bone. Take the right arm over the head now and reach. Squeeze the hips into the midline. Press down into the heels of the feet, the balls of the feet. Oh, delicious. Take the right arm back, reach. Take navel to spine and take about 6 seconds to pull yourself back up. And turn the left toes in and just pause for a moment. Again, embodying transformation, will, and determination. The power to ebb and flow. So, take the feet a little bit wider, please. Okay? And you don't have to, you go as wide as you're comfortable with. And then turn the right foot to the right. Again, bring your hands to your hip bones, not your waist, just a little bit down. So, again, above, just at the top of the leg bone. And then slowly start to bend the right knee. Lift the toes up for a moment so you really anchor into the right heel of the foot. Lift the chest and heart. Press down into the back heel of the foot. Maybe bend that right knee a little bit more, just to be a little bit more daring. And then bring the hands above your head, interlace the fingers, and really reach up. I want you to reach up so much you feel the side body really expanding. But you also take the biceps back a little bit. So there is an extension in the spine, and some of those muscles responsible for extension are engaged. Bend that knee again a little bit more. I always come out of bending a little bit. So just challenge yourself. Just another breath. Inhale fully. And then exhale fully. And then inhale, straighten the leg. Turn the toes in and let the hands come down and meet in Namaste Mudra. And then turn the left foot to the left. Again, bring the hands to the hips. We're going to do this side a little bit differently, but I want you to squeeze into the hips as much as you can. Good. Bring the hands, interlace the fingers, and press up and reach up. So there's this feeling of extension. And Warrior Two, in its truest sense, is an extension pose. We're starting to bend the left knee and keep reaching up as you do that. Keep reaching up. Squeeze the hips into the midline. Lift both inner arches. Challenge yourself to bend that front knee. Don't lose the back leg. Sometimes we kind of lean into that front foot. So keep the engagement of the hips. The engagement of the hips is one of the secrets to keeping both feet, or the weight in both feet, in balance. If you let go of your hips, just let go, you'll feel all the weight come into the front foot. So keep the hips engaged, and then inhale, straighten the leg. Exhale, relax the arms down, and have the hands meet in Namaste Mudra. And then turn the right foot to the right, and slowly start to bend the front knee. Take the arms out. We'll do this a little dynamically. So you're going to inhale, exhale, take the right elbow to the right thigh, but don't let the arm rest on the leg. So try to keep the arm off the leg, and then let the left hand or arm come over the body, and then inhale, come back up. And exhale, come back over. Again, not really letting the arm rest on the leg. So you're really using the contraction on the right side of the obliques to really hold you stable. So you're moving slowly. Inhale, come back up to really keep the stability. Exhale, contracting the obliques on the right side. You can feel it. And inhale, come back up. And one more time, exhale. And inhale, come back up. Turn the right toes in, turn the left toes out. Keep the arms out to the sides, hips to midline, bend the front knee, and then exhale, and left arm to left thigh. Again, not really letting the left arm rest on that thigh so much. And then inhale back up, and exhale back over. And inhale back up, and exhale back over. And inhale back up one more time. And exhale back over. Nice. And inhale back up. And then straighten the leg. Turn the toes in. I'm going to do one more pose here. I should have had you guys grab them beforehand. Just grab your blocks. And then come back with wide feet. Squeeze the hips to midline. Lift the pubic bone slightly. And then as you're exhaling, lift the pubic bone and start to come forward. And then let the blocks come down to the floor. We're actually going to stay here and rest the hands on the blocks. But what I want you to focus on are a couple of things. One, keep the hips in line with the heels of your feet. Lift the chest and the heart upwards. So extend the upper back or arch the upper back. If you have it within your capacity, squeeze the shin bones, specifically the outer shin bones, towards each other. Your feet won't move, but the shin bones will engage, and therefore the adductors will engage. And if you can, lift the ski slopes of your buttocks upwards. Inhaling deeply and exhaling deeply. Inhaling deeply. Take one more breath in. Good. Now here's a little challenge. If you need to bend your knees at any time, please do. Take your hands to your hips. Squeeze the hips to midline. Lift the pubic bone. Take the sides of the belly towards each other, and then slowly come on up. Keep extending the spine as you do this. Good. And bring the arms out, bend the knees a bit, and jump the feet towards each other. Bring the hands to namaste. Just breathe in and breathe out. Just feel for a moment the transformative quality of laterals, the awakening of pranic energy, of life force energy. And a deep welling from within of determination and indomitable willpower to be, to do, to create, to inspire. Okay. So come onto your knees. We're going to come down onto the floor. And from here, we're going to come and lie down onto our stomachs. Almost every class I teach this pose. I teach one kind of back strengthening pose. So we did chair pose. Now we're going to do the other one, which is one of my favorites. Sometimes it's called Superman, but the Sanskrit word is Shalabhasana. Whenever I say Shalabhasana, I always think of that Lady Gaga song, Shallow. Bradley Cooper, can you hear me? Pardon? Yes. Oh my goodness. Hey, Brad. Okay, lift the legs up, lift the chest up. There you go. Now, a couple of things to think about. Lift from the leg bones. So don't bend the knees. Keep pushing back through the heels, but lift the leg bones up higher and then slowly come down. Now you can turn the head to the side or just bring the forehead down. Lift up again. And holding 2, 3. Try to keep the legs straight. 4, 5, 6, and down. And lift up again. And holding 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and down. And come on up again. And holding 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and down. And lift up again. No matter how much you can lift, don't worry about it. You'll build strength over time. But if you work at this every day, this will start to strengthen one of the major muscles in the back called the longissimus. Lift up a little higher and down. And then come on up one more time. Good. You can even start to feel the glutes engage. Now, just for fun on this last one, bring the arms forward. I love this pose. Squeeze the elbows back. Smile. Bring the arms forward. And squeeze the elbows back. Smile. And come on down, only because you all smiled. Okay, and then let's come and sit up. And now, let's set up the blankets. So you come and sit on 2 or 3 blankets. And then we'll have the right leg out and the left leg forward. I think I'm gonna sit on 3. Now, if the knee is being irritated at all, you can always bring a block or a blanket underneath the knee. So if your knee is hurting or being tweaked, you can even use your little towel if you just want a little cushion underneath that knee, just to kind of lift it up a little bit. It might be stretching too much. Okay, so you're going to cross the arms here and then turn to your left. And as much as you can, turn to your left. And then again, bring the right shoulder down towards the hip. Nice. And come back up. Sometimes it's kind of cool to see if you're engaging in here. So turn, and then take your right hand just to the right obliques, the lateral obliques, if you can. And then come on over and see if you can feel those muscles engage a bit. And come back up. And then twist to your left. And then come on over. This pose is Pavrita Janushirshasana. Pavrita means twisting. So there's the twist. And then we're coming into Janushirshasana. Head to knee pose. And come back up. And then twist to your left. And come on over. And come on up. And last one. And then we're going to play here a little bit. So sorry, twist and then come on over into it. I was twisting and coming in, but it's twist and then come into it. Okay. If you can, take your right elbow down to the inside of the right knee. If you have a block handy, this sometimes is nice to bring a block down. So you can put the block there. You can reach the hand forward. Palm faces up. Now, the left hand has a couple of options. One is to bring the left hand behind the back and keep focusing on the twist. Another option is to bring the left arm over the head and reach. I'm going to stay here for a little longer. Just really breathe here. It's a really deep but nice pose to do. Work on this twist. Work on spiraling open. Inhale, look down. And exhale, look up. 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 And then slowly come back up. Just pause for a moment, just feel. All right. And then stretch the left leg out. And then bring the right foot into the groin. All right. Bring the hands just cross the arms. Twist to your right as much as you can. And then exhale and come on over. Bring the left shoulder to the left hip bone. And then come on back up. And then turn to the right. Twist to the right. And then bring the left shoulder to the left hip bone. Really think about crunching over so that that shoulder is getting closer and closer to the hip bone. And come back up. And then turn to the right. Crunch over. And then come back up. And turn to the right. And crunch over. And then slowly back up. And then turn to the right and crunch over. And then come on back up. Good. And last one. So turn to the right and then come on over, crunch over, and then let the left elbow come down again. If you want to use the block, you can. Okay. And then start off with maybe your right arm behind your back. Lift the chest and the heart and spiral upwards. This is Pavrita, so we're twisting here. There is still a bit of crunching that left oblique. So see about taking the left shoulder down towards the hip bone, direct it that direction, and then bring the other arm up over your head. And if you'd like to, you can always leave that right arm behind the back. It's also a nice option. Inhale, look down, and then exhale and turn and rotate slowly the head up. And inhale, slowly rotate the head down. And then exhale, slowly rotate the head up. Inhale, slowly rotate the head down. And then exhale, slowly rotate the head up. Inhale, slowly rotate the head down. And then exhale, slowly rotate the head up. And then very slowly come back up. All right. Okay, so 2 more poses. Come onto your backs. Okay, so have the hands down beside your waist. Bring the feet in. If you can, bring the feet in close enough so that your fingertips can touch the heels. If that's too much on your knees or not within your range of motion, then just bring the feet in as close as you can. And then what you're going to do is lift the hips up and bring the arms over your head, reaching, and lift the hips up as high as you can, but squeeze the glutes. So lift the hips up, squeeze the glutes. And then very slowly, leave the arms where they are if you can, and let the hips come back down to the floor. And then inhale and slowly raise the hips up and squeeze the glutes. Really, really squeeze them. Lift the hips up higher. And then slowly lower down. And lift the hips up as high as you can. Squeeze the glutes and lift up higher. Squeeze the glutes and lift up higher. And slowly down. Lift the glutes up and squeeze them as hard as you can. And then lift them up higher. And slowly down. And one last time. Lift the hips up as high as you can. Squeeze the glutes, lift up higher. Squeeze the glutes, lift up higher. Lift your toes off the floor, and now pull the heels in towards the shoulders. And down. And straighten the legs. This is the pose you guys have all been waiting for. Oh my God. Palms face up. Watching the breath. Seeing the breath going into the lungs. Watching the navel with your mind's eye. Rising upwards. Feeling the full culmination of this yoga practice resonating in your body, integrating with the breath, and integrating with all parts of your body. Inhaling deeply. And exhaling deeply. Feel your fingers and your toes kind of gently move. Bend one knee, and then bend the other knee, and just pause. And then gently roll over to the side. Just cross your legs. Namaste, everybody.